Prosci's research has established that the number one cause for resistance to change is the lack of awareness for the need to change. But that doesn't feel true, does it? Why is that the case? The reason our instincts push us to believe that awareness is not the number one cause for resistance is because awareness is not the most difficult barrier to overcome. It is, in fact, according to Prosci's research, desire. It has always been more challenging to build desire in someone to adopt or utilize something new than it is to simply build the awareness of why they should be using it. This is why we are tempted to say that desire is the number one cause of resistance. Not because it is the most common, but because it is the most difficult barrier to overcome. So in this video, we will explore what is desire in the ADKAR model, how do you build it in another person, and more importantly, who should be building it. This is part 3 of a 6-part series on the ADKAR model. So if you haven't seen the ADKAR model explained, have a look at this video on the top right. My name is Nick, and we are Handshake. Desire is the second step in the ADKAR model, and quite simply put, it measures the person's willingness to change. How many of you have heard the old idiom, you can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink? Desire in the ADKAR model is all about getting the horse to choose to drink. Note that I used a very specific word there, and that word is choose. Desire in the ADKAR model is all about that personal choice that somebody makes when they want something new or different. This becomes even trickier when discussing a change that is unpopular or can be easily viewed as negative. It is important to remember that you can only manage what you can measure. So how do you measure desire in people? Prosci has developed numerous tools and templates for the measurement of all the ADKAR elements, including desire. But even without these tools and templates, there are things you can carefully listen for as a change manager that would indicate desire for your change. Phrases like, I can't wait to see the new offices, or, oh, I can't wait to get rid of this old system. With the Prosci tools, one could start with the Prosci ADKAR assessment. A manager could use this assessment to assess the desire score of his employee, and similarly, an employee can use this assessment to feed back his own desire score. When put together, these two assessments provide an overall desire score for this change in that person. The results, as you would expect, would likely be very different between the desire score that a leader gives an employee and the desire score that an employee would give to himself for a change. This could be viewed as a weakness of this tool, but in fact provides this tool with its greatest strength. That discrepancy in scores forms the basis of a coaching conversation. And the good news is that it is through that coaching conversation between leader and employee that you truly start to build desire. As an example, the manager could ask the employee, why did you rate your desire score so high or so low? What this does is that it invites the employee to offer input on what it is they need to increase their desire score on this change. As we alluded to already, building desire in someone is done through coaching conversations. But what should be the content of that conversation? What should I, as a leader, focus on to assist the person I'm leading in choosing to change? The most important thing in this conversation is to listen and to show that you are listening. It is the most fundamental part of two-way communication, and the Prosci research even lists it as one of the ways in which you can actively mitigate resistance to change, just purely by showing that you are listening. So, in short, affirm and engage with what they are saying. We cover the details of this in our certification and manager programs, but the key areas to focus on are the nature of the change, the organizational context of this change, the personal situation, and the intrinsic personal motivators. Those of you who have seen our previous video on awareness will notice some overlap here with the communications plan, and that is true. The key difference, though, is in those last two factors. As the person's leader, you are familiar, or should become familiar, with the personal situations and the personal intrinsic motivators of the people that you are leading. And it is in those last two factors that you will focus on in your coaching conversation that you will truly drive desire for the change. Now, change managers do not build desire in people for a change. It's the people's leaders that do. This follows from one of the 5 tenets of change management, namely, people follow their leaders. We cover this in more detail in our What is Change Management video. And the Prosci research has time and time again shown that change managers are not the preferred senders of any message about change. It is the leaders. And this applies to coaching and therefore building desire too. Therefore, change managers build desire for their changes through the execution by those leaders of 3 of the 5 change plans they put together in their change management strategy. These plans are focused around leadership actions, both from senior leadership and from frontline managers. They are intended to help guide leaders in being active and visible, building a coalition, and communicating effectively about the change. Those are the ABCs of effective change leadership. In essence, these plans provide a roadmap for leadership to perform the coaching actions they need to build desire in their people to change. So, a key step in anybody's change journey is desire, because it forms the fundamental drive to change. It is the most difficult barrier to overcome because it requires coaching actions and leadership actions from comrades and leaders alike. But it is not impossible to manage, and change managers do and can plan for it. But desire does not facilitate change alone. So be sure to check out our other videos on ADKAR. We love hearing from you, so please leave us a like and a comment, and be sure to subscribe for more. From myself, Nick, and everyone here at AdChange, happy changes!